Lots of peonies. Tons of buds. The irises are not blooming as profusely as they have in the past. I think probably I have too much going on in this bed and I need to thin them out. But I have a few. Looks like some maybe cold damage right there on the leaves. But all of the peonies are just loaded with buds, and it looks like one right here is starting to open up. So hopefully that may be another cold damaged bud. We'll see, because it's not really ready to open. Time will tell. Right here I have a baby. This will be its second season in my garden, New Dawn. And then I have the larger New Dawn right here, and it is budded out. Little small buds, but they'll grow bigger and then they'll open. Very exciting. More irises. Right here I have a clematis. It is called Comtesse de Bouchard clematis. Probably not pronouncing that quite right, but these are my plants that I need to plant here pretty soon. This is another clematis. It's spent. It's at the end of it's actually been spent for several days, but it is Rebecca. It's new to my garden. And this right here is Strawberry Hill Rose. It's got several buds. I'm very excited about it. It will be its second season in my garden, and it's going to climb this trellis right here that's next to our back door. Let's see, I've got some cosmos down there. They're just planted for something to look at while I'm waiting on my roses. These are a couple of double red knockouts. This right here is a double red quince, flowering quince. The blooms are pretty spent. Probably about a week ago it looked a lot better. Really pretty. This is my wisteria blue moon that I chop back every year all the way to the neck because I don't want it to overrun my yard, and I also diligently come out here and get rid of any of the runners that are down there. More cosmos and some, what is that stuff called? My husband loves it. Alyssum, sweet alyssum. Here is another clematis, and I can't remember the name. I just planted these, and so it will get better and better, I'm sure. This middle part didn't open up, so I'm not sure why, but it's new, so, and I don't have the name of it. I'll have to look that up. Oh, here. Before we go into the garden gate, we'll just kind of take a look here at the yard, and then we'll go in. More peonies. This bush I need to move. I will do that as soon as it blooms. I didn't want to bother it because I wanted to see some blooms. I have some dahlias that are blooming. Probably wouldn't if they were planted in the garden and not picked up at a nursery. This right here is Eden. This will be her second season in my garden, and she has got several buds. She did bloom last year. I know some people have a hard time with Eden not blooming the first year, and I honestly don't know what the difference is here. I have clay soil, and we do amend it. And so maybe that is part of it. I know that the clay, though it is not good for drainage, it's wonderful for nutrients, so I don't know, maybe that's it. This peony right here did not bloom this year. Not sure why. I want to say it's Sarah Bernhardt, but she is not budding out, and it maybe because she needs to be divided. Then up the side here, I've got some Nepeta, and then I have 3 Queen of Swedens planted. This one right here, and this one right here, I received as bare roots this spring, so just a couple weeks ago. This one is a 2nd year Queen of Sweden in my garden, so we'll see if she takes off this year. I think she's putting on buds, but I don't see any actual formed. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Here's one. Here's a Queen of Sweden, and there's another one there. Now I'm going to start seeing all of them. This is another peony. This will be its first time blooming in the garden. I planted it, I think 2 years ago, and this is the first time it's blooming. I think it's a yellow, and the one down there at the end is also a yellow. Coming back over here, I've got, this is fried green tomatoes iris. I have a lupine. It is called Masterpiece, and I have 3 of those in the yard. So hopefully they will attract some of the unfriendly bugs like Japanese beetles and aphids and things, and to distract from my roses. This is, I am not sure what this is. I don't know if it is it can't be Flaming Lips, because Flaming Lips is a short iris. I really don't know. It's not Backdraft either. The coloring's wrong. So I purchased this iris, and I have no idea what it is. This down here is an Earth Angel rose, and she's got a few buds on her. That one right there is Emily Bronte. New in the garden this year. Not sure if she has any buds yet. And I have a couple of allium left over from a couple years ago. That is a Limelight hydrangea. This right here, what is this? I just planted it. It's not Pompanella Fairy Tale. I have that one in another area. I'll think of it. This, I have a couple of these. These are poppies, Oriental poppies. That right there, I believe, is a Backdraft iris. We'll know soon when it blooms. This is Twilight Zone rose. The one right behind it to the right, or I'm sorry, to the left, is Full Sail. That one right there is Molyneux. In the back right there, we've got Cinderella Fairy Tale. And then over here, we have Gruade La Rose. I know I'm pronouncing his name incorrectly. I cannot pronounce it. Gruade La Rose? I don't know. That's the name of that rose right there. This is our lilac bush. It used to be 12 feet tall and wide, and I trimmed it way back. We cut it back to the ground basically about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now. This is Poseidon, or do they call it Poseidon? I believe so. Poseidon, and that's the same right here. Poseidon. And then another allium getting ready to pop open. See if I can do a better job at, there we go. Another lupine, Masterpiece lupine, really pretty. Have some Nepeta here, and then I believe that's called Daybreak, that particular iris that is not blooming yet. I'll have to update this. And I have another peony here. I think that's something Jack, like Applejack, or I don't know. It's a real twisted looking peony. It's interesting. Oh, I forgot about this one. That's First Prize right there. She died all the way back to the ground this year. And I've got these blooms now. I mean, she does have, these canes are coming out of they're above the graph, so I know that this is first prize, but it doesn't handle my weather very well. I think I really believe it's a zone 7 rose, and this is zone 5B, 6A. So really pushing it with her, but she's back. Still can't remember what I planted here. It is a short rose. I'll have to look it up. That right there is ebb tide. And that has a couple of buds on it too. Everything's budding out really nicely. I'm very, very pleased. Short. I mean, they had a hard winter, the ones that stayed here, and then the others are, like I said, newly planted. Another oriental poppy. I love these. These are, I hope they bloom this year. They didn't bloom last year. This is lamb's ear. Another Nepeta. That right there is it's coming up. You can see the foliage coming up. That is a endless summer blue, and it does bloom blue. It actually has a really interesting, there's several colors that come out. That rose right there is White Eden, and I have one other that isn't planted yet. This one, I think, oh my heavens, I should have written all this down. I haven't written it down yet. I'll know when they bloom. This might be Pompanella Fairy Tale. So we'll see what happens there. This right here is Distant Drums. She's got one bloom on her. And then, of course, more Nepeta. I love Nepeta. Another lupine. And then this is Emily Bronte. No, you know what? I think this is Pompanella Fairy Tale. I'm going to have to remember what the other one is. I have a row of Emily Bronte. So here she is right here. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. There's 4. All of these are my Limelights. And they kind of go along the back. As the summer continues, they get huge, and they have big white conical flowers. So here's another Emily Bronte. Excuse me, Emily Bronte. Here's Emily Bronte. Another Emily Bronte. This is an Endless Summer Pink. This right here is Madame Hardy, and it's new in my garden this year. I just planted it out as a bare root, so we'll see how that does. I think she only blooms once a year, so we probably won't see blooms this year. This right here is Crown Princess Margareta, and we'll go back the other way. So I have a bunch of stuff on my lawn here. We just put our pergola up, and so we have parts of the fountain, and we have planters and all kinds of things out here around the yard. This was a rose I received both of these from Life and Rose Farm. Both of them came very dry. This one is just not doing well. I don't think it's gonna make it. We'll see, but it's just, I've watered it. It's just not happy. It was the worst of the two. When I received it, it was almost bone dry, and it was shriveled. The canes were shriveled, so I just think that we'll see, but I think that maybe it's not gonna make it. This one though is doing okay. So this one right here, these are both Earth Angels. I was really looking forward to this huge, just, billowy Earth Angel stand of roses right here as you come into my yard, and looking over towards the tree and seeing those. And unfortunately, I think I will make it happen, but that one is probably not going to be the one that makes it happen. Over here we got some weeds. Lovely, huh? more of the lamb's ear. We've got, that is, I know the name and I can't pronounce it right now. I'll have to think of it here for a little bit, but it's a French name. Mornepida. Another peony. This is a peony called, oh my, I'm losing my, I feel like I have Alzheimer's here for a second. It is called gardenia. And I love gardenias. There's a flower I miss from my early years in San Diego, and we can't grow them here, not as hardies anyway. We can't grow them outside. We could probably grow them indoors, but I don't know if they bloom. Anyway, gardenia peony. Nothing like, I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful gardenia, or a beautiful peony. It doesn't smell like gardenias. So, more lamb's ear. Now, all three of these roses here are Olivia, Rose Austin. So I am really looking forward to them getting big and just having a beautiful display of pink right here in the yard. This right here is Jan Van Loon peony. It's also a white, and it's kind of a single flower. Then I have some more irises over there. This is the first year they're blooming. I've actually had them planted here for a couple years now. And those are the only ones, the ones in front. So I think I need to thin the ones in back. Maybe they don't get enough sun, I don't know. But the ones down in front bloomed, so that's exciting. These are all bare roots that I have to plant. So I won't talk about those too much, except that they came from Canada. Well, a few of them did. 4 of them actually are from David Austin in Texas. The muddy ones. You can kind of tell the difference. So that's a David Austin. That's a David Austin. Those are David Austins. It's the Texas mud. They're doing really well. They're budding out beautifully. They'll be getting leaves shortly, and those are James Galway. So those are beautiful climbers, pink, and I'm looking forward to putting those up against a metal gazebo that we purchased. These, though, and many of them that you've seen in my garden that look similar, these are all from Canada, from Palatine Roses. And I'm very happy with those. I can't wait till they start blooming, budding. The leaves start budding out and then they bloom. I do need to get them in the ground. Those are the ones that are left that I didn't get in the ground. This is Desdemona, and I'm really looking forward to her flower. I'm not sure if she has some aphids yet. Let me see. She might have aphids. Cannot tell. Anyway, I don't worry too much about aphids. I've never ever had them just completely destroy a rose. I mean, honestly, maybe one bud. Usually they're here for a week or so and then they're gone, to be honest. Maybe the birds get them. But Desdemona, David Austin rose, and she's going to be gorgeous. Very excited about her. My Russian sage is coming back, so that's fun. These are daylilies. They're an orange color. Cannot remember the name. I bought them too many years ago, but really nice. I have that plant right there is called a rose campion, and it's a beautiful bright pink flower. If you know me and you're friends with me on Facebook, I've posted them. You know what they are. Just love them. That one is one as well that I just planted. I think it needs a drink. This rose right here is Albertine or Albertine. Not sure which is the correct pronunciation. It's a climber. It only blooms once a year, once and done, and it's going to climb our new pergola. We also have Abraham Darby back there, which is a David Austin rose, and it is also going to climb. This right here is a columnar apple tree. I think this one is red, And then I have another that's green, and you have to have at least 2 in order for them to fruit. So I'm hoping this is their year. That right over there is H.F. Young Clematis. It's not blooming yet. And I know I'm showing you all these things and they're not blooming, but my goal is to come back here in about a week or 2 and show you the blooms. These right here are new. I just had them delivered from Antique Rose Emporium, and those are Bliss Parfuma. And I have a third one that I purchased from Palatines, which is over in those buckets that I just showed you. And so I'm going to find a nice place for a stand of the 3. This is another type of clematis. I think it's Jack Mandy, I don't know, I'm not sure. Jacqueline Dupre, that's what that one is. The one that I said I'm gonna have to come back, and that's Jacqueline Dupre. Really interesting rose, very different bloom on that one. Bougainvillea, that's an indoor during the winter, outdoor during the summer plant. And then you can see the pile of everything that we have over here, because we're still working on getting everything back in its place. The fountain we took apart, emptied, so that we could put the pergola up. Let me take you over here. Have a couple of I think they're called lady ferns, I'm not sure. And then of course coral bells, which we love. I am considering putting these in a new place. I just don't think they do well here, and because this does get a considerable amount of sun in this area, I may put a climber that does well in part shade. More peonies. So this area is very interesting. I started my rose collection in this area. That's Woolerton Old Hall. I did cut him back quite a bit, and so just because the canes were old, and then when we were putting the pergola up we lost a cane, so that's unfortunate. But last year he had really long canes, and so they really flowered. It was beautiful. This year may not be the same, because those canes are really short and they're really not bending very far. I have them on a slant, but it may not be slanted enough. But that's okay, because my goal is to have them climb and then flower up there. This right here is called America. It's a dark red, and you can kind of see very dark peony, very dark red, and it is a single bloom. This right here is Lady of Shalott. All of the roses in this area, excluding Woolerton, I really thought weren't going to make it. I do think that I need to move this peony and this peony to a new spot, or move Lady of Shalott, because she's just not, I don't think she's getting enough sun to grow well. She should be much bigger. This is her 3rd year. I planted these, I think in 21, maybe 20, I think 21 though. Anyway, I can go back and look at my Facebook pictures and I'll know exactly. But I feel like she should be a lot bigger, but she is budding. There's some buds right there, so we'll see. More sage growing. So I have this monolith, and I don't know what to do with it. I was hoping that the roses would grow around it. You're hearing a school bus, by the way. The school kids are getting home. So if you have thoughts about this and what I could do, I've thought about putting a clematis on there. I've thought about removing it altogether. But I like it. It's kind of cool. Another allium. And let's see if we can zero in on that. Lemon balm that's just come up natural in the yard. More sage and lemon balm there. Another allium. This one's kind of pretty. Kind of pretty. I like them. They're supposed to come back again, and really I planted 15 and there's like 5 that have come back, so not impressed. This is a Coral Charm, I believe is the name of this peony, and that's what's out front in that first bed as I started. Those are all Coral Charm. This is Golden Celebration, and for the first year did nothing, second year did even less. Like, I thought it was dead, but now it's coming to life, and I'm very excited about that. There's actually 3 buds on it so far, so very excited about that. This one is Alnwick, the Alnwick Rose. I didn't show you these over here, so I hope I'm not showing you any dog deposits, but I do have dogs, so please forgive if there are any there. Those right there are Black-Eyed Susan and some lemon balm. And then right here I've got a hollyhock coming up. It comes up every year. I have one, but we'll go back this way and I'll show you these other roses. So here's another Emily Bronte. So if you notice, I have one planted by the other gate, I have one here, and this is by our back gate. And then, and I've done that, and then I have them all across the backyard, and that's because the fragrance is reputed to be amazing, and I wanted to just surround us with it. This is a Grace Rose Farm rose that I bought bare root this year. It's enormous. It is called, this one is called Pink Traviata, and it's getting buds, but it's enormous. This one over here is also from Grace Rose Farm. It is not really putting on anything yet. I hope it will. It's called Shirley's Bouquet. I don't know. I've never had Shirley's Bouquet, so I don't know if it's a late starter or what. Then over here, this rose right here, this is its second year in our garden, and it is Zephyrin Druin, and I have 2 of those, and I've planted them so that they'll climb on the fence. Vince is a little bit worried about them climbing on the fence. He thinks it might scratch the fence. They don't have thorns, so I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that I can still do that. That was my dream, was to have this fence with beautiful roses peeking through. This right here is Fun in the Sun. I moved it from another area of the garden. Here's that other Zephyrin Druin growing up against the fence. I have a Bleeding Heart. And of course we have lots of hosta. But that's it. I think this is long enough. This is the back garden. These are all my Rose of Sharons. Here, I've already shown you the Crown Princess Margareta. And I may plant a climber back there. I have to clean that out then. And I've got another White Eden, and I have another Eden. So I may do something back there. I don't know. We've also talked about having obelisks along this fence. You know, right now this garden just looks like such a mess, just because we also have patches of grass here and there, and we really need to decide whether we're going to put down some, we're just going to do all mulch or gravel. But we've talked about having some obelisks here for our climbers and just putting them in a row down the fence line. So we haven't gotten that far. I mean, it would be nice to provide some privacy, because with this short fence, we don't have a lot of privacy. So it would be nice, but we'll see. All of this stuff will be on next time. Next time I do a video, this will all be better, and probably will have the grass mowed and everything weeded. This is my other apple. So this was new in my garden last year. I put it in this pot. I think I'm trying to decide if I want to take it out of the pot and grow it on the next to the pergola like the other one, but maybe on the other side. I just don't know. I know they have to be in pretty close proximity for the bees to pollinate so that we get fruit. So we'll see. I haven't decided. Oh, this is Princess Charlene de Monaco right here. And she died all the way back to the ground this year, but she's coming back, and I don't see any buds yet, but I'm sure that she's going to produce because she produced a lot last year. So we'll see. And then I split this Nepeta. It kind of split by itself. I had one and it was back behind the Princess Charlene, and I decided it wasn't getting enough sun back there. It needed to be kind of out on its own, and it broke into 3 pieces. So I went ahead and planted 3 pieces all the way around the rose. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it. That's my garden for the end of April. I think it's what, the 28th? Look at that. Willerton Old Hall does have some buds. So I'm excited. We'll see how they do. This is a beautiful rose when it's in bloom. Have a great day. Bye.